It is Pride Weekend in Seattle, and we are joined by a very special guest who is going to be one of the Grand Marshals at the Seattle Pride Parade this year. And he's also an old friend, and I am thrilled to have Armistead Maupin to join us. This has been an incredible year for you. You started the year with the release of your latest Tales of the City book, Mary, Ann, and Autumn, and then you eventually then opened up your musical down in San Francisco. Tell me about that.
Well, the musical's been in the works for about 5 years. It's just sometimes all the pennies drop at the same time. That's what happened for me, because the novel was several years in the making, and then the American Conservatory Theater decided to take on the formidable challenge of mounting a very expensive production for a regional, nonprofit theater. And it's been breaking all records at ACT, I'm happy to report. People are coming back 2 and 3 times, and that it's been a ball for me, really. I mean, as a third act for an old gay man, it ain't a bad one to have a musical going on and to see these people, embodying in a musical way characters that I created. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And tell me, you were apprehensive about Jake Shears. You didn't know what kind of...
No, I never was apprehensive.
Correct. Yeah.
I was probably more uneducated than anything else.
True.
I had heard Filthy Gorgeous, and I liked that.
Yes.
And but it was just the notion of a pop band, taking on a musical. Could they do it? And Jake Shears, who's not Jake Shears. The names all start with J, so it's confusing. Jeff Whitty, who's from Coos Bay, Oregon. And Jake actually is from just off the coast here. He grew up on one of the San Juan Islands.
Yes, he was, absolutely.
He brought the albums. He brought the first album in, and then I went out and got Ta-Da, which I loved, and it was quite easy to see what their range was. And I love the notion of this young team. They're all under 40, taking on this old material and making it fresh and lively, and they're all out of the closet. No, everybody is. Wes Taylor, who plays Michael Mouse, is an openly gay man. So I'm feeling very comfortable and happy with the situation.
Now, do you have hopes that it will head to Broadway?
I'd lie if I didn't say I had hopes. But I don't know. I mean, I know there's been talk, but I'm not in on the producer side of things right now. I would like to see it actually go to the West End first.
Oh, really? Oh.
I like the idea of it having another, a musical is always a process, and you learn things every step of the way. And I'd love to see it happen there, and then if it makes it to Broadway, great.
Surely.
That's not to say if a Broadway offer comes through that I would stomp my foot and say no. But it's really up to other people.
So tell me about the new latest book.
Well, Mary Ann in Autumn is basically Mary Ann, my ingenue from the Tales of the City series, who's 25 when she comes to town, the girl in the musical, and she's now 58, and she's been away for 20 years, and she's come back again with a couple of calamities on her hands, and she goes to sort of lick her wounds with her old friend Michael Tolliver, who's survived AIDS and is living with his husband. They've been married 3 times. They were married in City Hall in San Francisco, and that was, if you remember, those were canceled. And then they were married in Vancouver, as my husband and I were initially. And then they got married during the period of the 18,000, the ones that are still standing marriages in California. And Chris and I are numbered, I'm happy to say, among those people.
Wonderful. And then, of course, you just heard the most recent announcement about marriage equality in New York.
Oh, yeah. I came home from a wonderful dinner up on Capitol Hill and got onto Facebook. And the first thing I saw was, 2 friends, Ari Carpel, who was in New York, cheering about it happening. And then Harvey Fierstein had like 4 words like equality, justice, capital letters, exclamation marks. And I got on and wrote, I think, probably predictably, start spreading the news. Yeah. New York is, love is won out in New York or something. And I have never seen so many people pile on so fast, because it was at the moment, I guess there was a live feed going through.
Right.
And it had just been announced. So there's that odd thing on Facebook when you can be actually part of the process of, and so it was just people flying on to say yippee and 3 cheers for New York, and it was wonderful.
I know, it's like everybody was changing their Facebook pages to I love New York
Yeah.
in rainbow colors.
Yeah, it was really exhilarating. I saw the picture of the Empire State Building lit up in the rainbow colors, and
Absolutely.
and then I guess this morning, I haven't seen it yet, but the New York Times has some wonderful picture taken out in front of the Stonewall Inn.
Oh.
You know, what is it, 40-some years later, this amazing...
40, about, it will be 40...
41.
42?
42 this year, yeah.
42 this year.
But I've always said we're getting there. This revolution has run concurrent with my own career, and my my own coming out. So it's always felt like improvement to me, as slow as it's felt sometimes.
Yes.
You know, we've been heading here all along, and we're winning.
And that brings you to Seattle for the Pride Parade. What was your reaction when you found out you were selected one of the Grand Marshals?
Well, first of all, I thought, yay, a free trip to Seattle. I was very honored, of course.
Absolutely.
Why would you not be? Yeah, and it's not even my town, so that makes the honor even
true.
greater. But I feel great kinship with Seattleites. I don't know. There's something about the West Coast in general. When you move north of Santa Cruz, there's a certain bond we have, a certain way of living that agrees with me.
And Seattle welcomes you with open arms because you've had such a huge amount of association with the Seattle Men's Chorus. And,
the Seattle Men's Chorus got music from Michael Mouse underway all those years ago.
Yep.
And David Maddox, in affiliation with the chorus, was the first person to set my coming out letter to music. There's lots of connections. I have my dear friend Matt Alber and his partner Phil Jameson live out on Vashon Island, so I'm getting to visit with them right now.
Right.
And Seattle, simply put, is a reading city. There are more readers in Seattle than almost anywhere per capita. And so that means that I've always had a following here when I've gone on book tour.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to Seattle. And
Thank you, Michael.
May you join us again.
Well, it's lovely to
in the
see you
future.
again.
Nice to see you.